a lot of the people that have come through, your castmates who have come through, have mentioned that it was really badass to watch you guys not only be performers and be totally in the moment and totally on your game as performers, but then in the breaks reading scripts and giving notes on cuts and watching and then sending them text messages that were encouraging after you'd seen dailies or something. What was this experience like for you guys to work not only as performers, which you've done obviously, but also as creative executives on this?
Oh, it's just a dream. It was an absolute dream to be able to get in there and in all aspects of the creative process. I mean, we've been doing it for so long. It sort of comes as like second nature.
Yeah. And you accumulate all this life experience, and you're like, I know how to run a team. I know how to be a supportive player. I know when to be a producer part of myself and when I need to just concentrate on the acting piece.
Yeah. How do you know when to, I don't know, this might be a weird question, but take the proverbial friend hat or the supportive, boss hat off and put on the stern boss hat? Does that make sense? Because there's got to come a moment in everybody's life where you were sent to a certain level where, like, sometimes you need to let somebody know that you are not happy. And that can come with whatever perception it's going to come with, but, like, you got to do it. How do you do it?
I think there's always a time you complete a moment if you're in your actor, wearing your actor hat, and then when it's time you can go and address the other situation. And it's not there's not that much of a difference between the actor me and then the producer me. I don't turn into like a raging insane
Control freak
and
Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde type of thing.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, and it's all pretty.
No, and you're enormously kind and generous with people, and understanding it.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, there's always a lot of stuff that comes up during production, but
you just know how to. I mean, I like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like juggling, and I like hearing, and I like to know everything, like everything. Like, if ever there's a huddle and they're like, "Don't worry, we don't want to bother." I'm just like, no, I don't want to not.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I feel it's sort of like seeing unanswered emails on a phone. I can't,
Well, for a long time, too, people didn't include us in the conversations. So being part of things and actually being a problem solver with everyone is really enormously productive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be very cool for you two, having met so many years ago, to have, like, watched each other's careers rise
so
at this,
wonderful.
at this
really
awesome
fun.
rate, right?
Yeah. I mean, 20 years ago, it's almost 20 years ago when we did Friends, I mean, we were both kids, and to see what she's done over the last 20 years is so extraordinary and inspiring to so many women.
Yeah.
Actresses, women in any industry, of what we can do, we're capable of.
Yeah. You just said that there was a moment where you guys weren't included in those conversations. In the past 2 years, since the breaking of Me Too, have you guys noticed a greater sense of camaraderie amongst women in the business? Was it there before and we weren't talking about it in the same way that we are now, or has something in that sense shifted?
I think something broke open.
Yeah.
And hearing that even if you didn't have personal suffering, but that your colleague was suffering alone and not being able to express herself or have any kind of recourse is enormously bonding for women, because I don't think I realized some of the stuff that was happening, criminal things that were happening to my colleagues. And
it's shocking. And
shocking.
it was actually, I remember when it was all unfolding, my jaw was on the ground constantly, just in horror that this was going on. And behind closed doors, we didn't even know. Right. And that was being kept so quiet. I mean, you almost couldn't believe how outrageous the things were that took place.
But I think that pulls people together, and we start having more constructive conversations, and we start emerging in leadership positions, because it's important.
Yeah. And what are the things that, what I've read, I've seen the first few episodes of the show, obviously, but then when I've read about it, one of the things that kind of comes up a lot is the notion of Alex's past her sell-by date. And it seems like we're moving to a place where that's not really so much of a thing anymore. But was there a point earlier in your careers where you thought, that was a real fear, that you felt yourself sort of pushing up against that?
I was told all the time that I wouldn't work past 40. I've worked more past 40 than
40.
Yeah. I was told never to play a mom because that would age
that
me. the bizarre.
Can't be older than 10.
Yeah, the kids can't be over 10, or it ages you. It's just all these absurd things. Even though I was a mom and I was 23,
Yeah.
and there are lots of people in the world who are all different kinds of ages, but there were all these platitudes that we were supposed to, or these ideas. But it's also like everything changed with the emergence of streaming and social media conversations where women are like, I don't have to be what you want me to be. I'm actually just going to be myself.
It's this old society's messaging that we've been told, that we're going along with. That once you hit this age, that's when it's over. Or once, if you're a mom, then it's all of these ridiculous sort of labels that were put on women that are just unnecessary and not true. And thank God we're able to now prove ourselves. And I was saying, I'm at my age now, and I feel like I'm just beginning a whole new chapter of my creativity and my career.